Hey everyone, it's Caroline from Caroline Adams Coaching, and today we are talking about the ENFP personality type and specifically ENFP career considerations. As you may know, I'm an INTJ, and yet people have told me, no, Caroline, you're not an INTJ, you're an ENFP. I promise you, if you saw me in the wild, if you talk to my family, you would know I am definitely an INTJ supervillain. And part of what you see actually is learned behavior I've picked up from watching ENFPs. My mom happens to be an ENFP, so I've watched her and I've watched other ENFPs because they have a lot of strengths that I would love to have as an INTJ, but do not come naturally to me. Let us dive in though, focusing on ENFPs. So first, as just a general overview, ENFP stands for extroverted, intuitive, feeling, perceiving. And as always, I have linked to a companion blog post, which not only has some details that I probably won't cover in this video, it also links to the full ENFP profile in 16 personalities. So definitely check that out. What I wanted to highlight to you is just some of the things that stand out to me as really beautiful strengths that set ENFPs apart. So the first one is so cool. ENFPs see everything and everyone as connected. Super powerful, super needed in the workplace and in life. We will actually circle back to this concept. The other thing that I find fascinating and maybe a little bit counterintuitive is that, ENFPs show up as expected, the life of the party. They are spontaneous, they are outgoing, they're warm, they're engaging, and yet they have these vibrant inner lives. They're super deep. It adds just like this beautiful depth to how they view the world. They are also skilled communicators. So they are, and again, I've watched my mom do this. She's able to detect like these just very subtle shifts in people as she's talking with them that just make her really good at connecting with people. We'll come back to this one as well. Has its pluses and minuses. And when I step back and I think about ENFPs, just very broadly, I kind of see their energy as this beautiful light that they can use to really shine on other people and, make other people feel how we all want to feel, which is like seen and valued and special. And because of this like joyfulness and energy that they exude, they also act as these like beautiful magnets, so it's not uncommon for them to just, kind of be at the center of attention and draw people to them. So I just think this is such a cool use of their energy, just both, kind of shining it on other people to give them the spotlight and also just, that just natural light that occurs within them, drawing people to them. So let's get into what jump out to me as three powerful considerations. These are by no means the only considerations. This is just a starting point. Do not limit yourself, right? You can be successful as an ENFP in so many different professions, so many different career paths. And I, in fact, encourage you to challenge like thinking that because you're an ENFP, you have to fit yourself into certain professions. Follow what interests you. And I would encourage you actually to think about more of these three considerations because your environment is going to be really important. I would argue as important as what you do. It's who is surrounding you and are you able to operate and step into your full power as an ENFP. So let's get into these considerations. The first consideration is making sure that the people around you and the environment around you is worthy of your energy and enthusiasm. So what do I mean by this? Back to this very first observation I shared, this ability for ENFPs to see everyone and everything as connected. This is super high vibe, super high emotional intelligence way of walking through the world, right? When you combine that with your creativity, your curiosity, your compulsion to spread joy everywhere you go. Let's just say that most organizations and most cultures do not operate with those things at the forefront. And so I really want you to be choosy about the right environment. And again, there's no right answer. You answer, what that right environment is for you. Who are the people that allow you to be at your best? Because if you're not in the right environment, you can fall into patterns of people pleasing, of taking on too much and then succumbing to overwhelm, kind of, how do I want to say this? Like limiting your ideas, like kind of relinquishing kind of the full power and potential of, these beautiful possibilities that you're so good at seeing, or even putting up with bad behavior from people. So I would really, really encourage you, yes, think about the role, think about what you want to do. And just as importantly, I would really make sure that that environment meets you with that same level of energy and enthusiasm, and hopefully even elevates it. All right, number 2, I'm gonna call this variety and boundaryless exploration. So hopefully it's clear at this point that ENFPs, at the heart of how you operate is creativity and connection, right? And what jumps out to me more, or as important as these things, is the environment and the structure with which you can do this, right? So much like INTJs, right, you need time and space. You need to be able to ask questions. You need to be able to follow all of these like offshoots, right? All of these, what some people might see as like detours or distractions, like to you, like this is just like, let me follow this idea. This has captured my imagination. What if, what about, right? All of the beautiful possibilities and endless exploration. You need time and space to do that. And I can't think of anything worse than an environment which is a rigid hierarchy, right? A kind of keep your head down, like super fast paced, like super full steam ahead, no time to kind of follow those detours and tangents, and your curiosity really, or an environment that is like super time bound. Okay, so I'd really pay attention to those things. And so I would think about a couple of different things in this respect. Think about the duration that you spend on things, right? Because you are all about the ideas and the brainstorming and the connection with people and the ideas, less about that like march to the end of a project and repetitiveness and, let's just, kind of put our heads down and walk towards this thing. Anything boring and repetitive is you're just going to quickly lose interest. So I would look at, maybe it's the outset of a project or any place really where you can put those beautiful brainstorming skills to work. Maybe it's about like coming into an organization that's a little bit stagnating and saying, okay, how can we do this totally differently? Maybe it's looking at new product lines or a different way to connect people to your products or services, right? Again, these are just examples. Do not limit yourself to these, but hopefully you're hearing it's really important. You don't want to be in an environment where you're on this like year-long march towards something that's boring, repetitive, and it's going to make you feel constrained and not able to follow all these like beautiful threads that you see. So that's the first thing. The second thing, again, back to the people that you surround yourself with. I would really, again, the mix is going to look different for different people based on the industry and all these things, but really think about the people that you want to surround yourself with that, again, complement you. So you might want some other ENFPs, right, who are going to like dive in and, think of these big ideas with you and be in that. And you're probably going to want some executors or a team that you can hand off to, right? So that you don't have to do the boring, repetitive, redundant stuff. And this is where INTJs, I've seen a really powerful partnership between, doesn't have to be an INTJ, but I've seen powerful partnerships where, you get to stay in that space of blue sky thinking and what about this and wouldn't this be great and here's, the vision I see, and then you literally hand over to your right hand INTJ who's like, got it, let me go we need these 3 work streams, here's the timeline, kind of puts that structure around it. So I would just consider the people that you surround yourself with, because if you err too much to one side, like, kind of the strict people that kind of want to projectize and put everything in little buckets, that's going to probably feel too constraining. Conversely, if you're around a bunch of, if everyone's an ideas person, then you're just going to stay in that space and nothing will ever get done. So think about what the right mix is for you based on your industry interests, what you're trying to get done, all of that kind of stuff. So speaking of teams, this leads into my third career consideration for ENFPs, which this is probably my favorite. So yes, I know we're all leaders. And yet the way ENFPs lead, I think is really, really powerful and so needed. So ENFPs lead through inspiration and then, really trust others to like get it done in the way that person sees fit to get it done. They are like the antithesis of micromanagers, which I think the one universal thing, regardless of personality type, is we all hate being micromanaged. And so I think the fact that you can, like, again, tap into this bigger vision, excite people, and then hand it off, plus your ability to connect people. And again, see, here's this theme of connecting people, and everyone and everything is connected, right? So you can be this beautiful catalyst to bring people together across silos to work together, whether it's your team, whether it's your peers, and just really facilitate that beautiful energy of working. So whether you are a CEO building out your organization, or you are trying to build ground level grassroots support, I would really use your powers to kind of build these high performing teams. It's absolutely in your wheelhouse, and people like to be led this way. Plus you're super fun to be around, right? What better way? Again, here's that magnetizing energy and the light that you shine on other people, right? Who doesn't want to feel valued and be drawn towards this bigger idea of what's possible? So hopefully you've enjoyed these 3 considerations, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.